And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Saturday, June the 17th at 3:01 p.m. How are you doing? So, Jiu-Jitsu versus wrestling. You know, I'm going to take some flack on this, okay? Because I train Jiu-Jitsu, but the reality is, wrestling is better. In an all-out fight, wrestling is better. Why? Well, because not ever since the first UFC, on the highest level of competitive fighting, has there been a dominant Jiu-Jitsu champion, okay? Time and time again, Jiu-Jitsu guys are always coming up, all right, and they're getting shut down by wrestlers. And the Jiu-Jitsu guy has nothing left, right? A wrestler can, if a guy is an amazing, if you take the world's best wrestler right now in an actual all-out street fight, okay, versus the best Jiu-Jitsu guy, I would beg to differ, right? That the wrestler could not shut the Jiu-Jitsu guy down and win from strikes, or, you know, they can really, as long as they train just a little bit, you can train a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu and know enough to not ever get caught in any position, you know? I mean, even think about the amount of times that wrestlers compete in a year compared to in Jiu-Jitsu. Wrestlers compete like 50 some times in a year. And if they've been wrestling for 10 years, they've had 500 matches. Right? Jiu-Jitsu guys, not at all. All right? The competitive circuit, the willingness, the fortitude, the everything, the wrestler's mindset. Okay? If you're a world-class wrestler and you're going to go against a world-class Jiu-Jitsu guy, all right? If the wrestler just from modern day knows about footlocks and stuff like that, I give zero chance. After they've been exposed to these things, I don't mean in a world that a wrestler doesn't have a clue what Jiu-Jitsu is. I mean nowadays, when you add all the elements together, okay, there is no John Jones, there's no Daniel Cormier, there's no Dan Henderson, there's none of these people, okay, that should not be winning against Jiu-Jitsu guys. Why? Because they dominate people with the wrestling. Wrestling can shut down Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu cannot shut down wrestling. So what does that mean? That means if you're an amazing wrestler and you learn basic... I apologize about that, guys. It's 100 degrees. My phone actually got too hot and it shut down as I'm finishing up a video. But anyway, all I was saying is that what does that basically mean? That means if you could have 10 years of wrestling, 10 years of jiu-jitsu or mix and match, I would do 90% wrestling, and at the very end, like 9 years wrestling and then 1 year jiu-jitsu. Why? Because if you're like an amazing wrestler, and then you start learning the ins and outs of essentially doing like a few escapes, some like situational awareness when it comes down to like foot locks and not leaving your arms. Once you know how to get out of like some arm bars and techniques and stuff like that, you can just use your wrestling to wrestle around people, punch them in the face, win, or even choke them out. You know what I mean? The level of aggression and tenacity that every single wrestler, it's called like the wrestler's grind and stuff like this on purpose. You know what I mean? Wrestler's mentality. And I mean, yeah, so anyway, I'm sure I'm going to take some flack from it, but the facts speak for themselves. You could be an amazing world-class wrestler, learn some basic submissions, and then just become like a world champion. And honestly, right now in the jiu-jitsu scene, that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing people that have relatively no experience in like 500 matches in wrestling. They're using their amazing wrestling to get the right body position. And experience-wise, you can be like, oh, he's a white belt. He's only trained jiu-jitsu for 6 months. Correct. But guess what else? Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir, right? He dominated the first time, and he didn't win for like a technicality. Brock won the first match, arguably, but there was a technical stoppage because it's like he hit him too much in the face. The second match, there was no question. All right, and Brock beat him again. Brock had hundreds, thousands, whatever, of wrestling matches, and he wasn't a black belt. He's a phenomenal wrestler with situational awareness on anti-jiu-jitsu, right? So that's the end of that. I just wanted to make this video because a buddy of mine were having a debate if the world's best wrestler gotten a actual fight, like a UFC fight, right, with rules, but like striking included, against a grappler. And I said, against a jiu-jitsu guy. I said the wrestler, he said the jiu-jitsu guy, and I just started pointing all these things out. So we still agree to disagree, but I'll let you decide who you think is more dominant, the wrestler or the jiu-jitsu guy. But without question, right now you're seeing more than ever before people that are like world-class wrestlers dipping into jiu-jitsu and just dominating the scene, you know? And I truly believe they're both really forms of grappling as is. Grappling meaning a form of like controlling somebody's body. Jiu-jitsu focuses more on the finishing, whereas wrestling is more body position and pinning, right? So, you know, together, if you could have better position before submission, that would only make you a better jiu-jitsu guy. So focus more on your wrestling and you'll be a better jiu-jitsu practitioner. That's all I got to say about that. You guys are beautiful. I love you so much. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.